Good evening and welcome to United Adventure Company presents Ripples from Carcosa, written by Oscar Rios. Tonight's episode is episode 4, the first part of part 2 in Ripples from Carcosa, the Herald in Yellow. Tonight's cast is Diamond as Konrad, Alistar as Verdic, and Frankie as Lady Charlotte. Your keeper for tonight is Jackal Crossing. Please enjoy Ripples from Carcosa. December has settled over the fiefdom of Sherborne, as it has all of Wessex, blanketing the land in a layer of snow. Harvest was completed weeks ago, provisions stored, and the Yuletide is less than a fortnight away. It should be a time of rest in the castle of Lord Boniface, and perhaps it is, for some are enjoying a restful morning. Unfortunately, that isn't any of you. As the sun is starting to break through the clouds on this winter's morning, you are summoned before the Norman Lord of Sherborne. Ruling over these lands for almost a decade now, Lord Boniface still clings to most of his native French ways. The court speaks French, the fashions are French, and even the food served is mostly French. Some 10 years after first coming to Wessex in southern England, Lord Boniface needs to be mindful of his relations, especially those with the native Saxon peasantry. And while peasants are necessary to work his lands and pay his taxes and provide the Norman Lord with the bulk of their harvest, they can be forced to do these things. Putting down revolts is a costly business, however. It's better for everyone if things between the Norman lords and their Saxon peasants just go smoothly. This is, in fact, the reason you are here before Lord Boniface right now. Good morrow, my friends, the middle-aged lord greets you. It seems there has been yet another problem with the locals. One of my villages, Derek's Holdings, has sent a delegation voicing a complaint from its oldest member. It seems that the Saxon lords who ruled these lands before me had promised this man that a certain sacred tree was not to be cut down until after that man had died. That particular tree was actually harvested this summer when we were enlarging the feast hall. Oops. This delegation is reminding me that we swore to uphold this proclamation when we took possession of these lands. I have no memory of such thing, but it seems they have my signature on a document stating just that. The old man is much respected in the village. In fact, he's the oldest man in all of Wessex. He's seen more than 100 winters, if you can believe his claims. Some sort of pagan mystic and poet claiming the tree, an oak, I believe, was sacred. He rolls his eyes and begins again. It's drivel, I know, but he's demanding an apology, and it seems to have the whole village behind him. So, in the spirit of Yule, and in the name of good relations, I am sending him my apologies. He nods to his steward, who steps forward, handing you a scroll. Sealed in wax and stamped with the signet of Lord Boniface. He bristles, stiffens himself, and stares at each of you. I command that you journey to Derek's Holding at once and visit this man named Cale Greybeard. I am told he can no longer walk, sees poorly, and hears but little. Present him with this official apology for cutting down his precious tree and inform him that come spring, a new oak will be planted in its place. His health is failing. I am told his surviving the winter is doubtful. He rises from a chair with a sigh and says, Now, I'm off for a fitting. Milady wishes me to have new attire for the holiday celebration. Now go. I bid you a speedy return. Remember, you speak in my name. Please see that all goes smoothly. He turns with his escort of assistants and leaves the room. Obviously, as members of the House of Lord Boniface, you are able to requisition certain equipment if you need to take it. One of the attendants comes up and lets you know that there are a couple of horses available for you. Two, as a matter of fact, is all they can spare at the moment, as the rest are out gathering supplies for the Yule celebration.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely happily take them. I would seek out, before we head off, if possible, I do want to seek out if there is a priest or something on staff.
Yes, there would be a priest here.
Okay. I don't want to break up this particular scene where we're all kind of together and getting our things together. So just keep in mind, I would drop in on them before we head out for the day.
Sure.
My only request in addition to the horses.
The horses are specifically for Lady Charlotte and Konrad.
That's me.
Mr. Verdic, you will be walking. That's okay. You're used to this. A soldier, you know, of type. So, but Konrad and Lady Charlotte are relative, basically, to Lord Boniface, and therefore they are given a little bit of extra support.
Excellent. As is deserving of a lady.
As is, right. Of course. Anybody else?
I am kind of curious what our relationship to one another is, if we want to do maybe establish that before we head off, as it were, on our little adventure. I have Lady Charlotte here, who is, been here for a while, but still retains a lot of French, obviously, as many of the court members here. She is extremely devoutly Christian, and is kind of like that reserved chasteness in the background. And I'm just kind of curious what the other character's background is, so I can hold them in mind on how we might interact between Konrad and our other one.
I am a roughly 18-year-old Ute. I've spent my youth as a proud Norman warrior. I find that I really find myself and center myself when I am training, hunting or for battle. It doesn't really matter, either one. My position here in the castle is, how do you say, perhaps comfortable, because of it's hard to. I happen to be the second cousin to Lord Boniface, so I've got some connections. With connections come privilege, and
You position yourself as a Norman as opposed to as a Saxon.
Correct. However, since I've spent my time in the castle and have been doing some training, my original opinion of the Saxons was colored, shall we say. And after spending some time here and training, I found that the blacksmith Redwald produces a particularly fine blade. Ding! And I pull forth a blade and do a nice pommel spin of my Frankish sword.
Okay.
And slide it back into its scabbard, and when training here, I've also had an opportunity to hunt with Verdic on several occasions, and out in the woods, I've noticed that Verdic, he can handle himself. In fact, he's impressed me, which is not something that is easily done, especially, being a Saxon and all.
Right.
But, sometimes people change, and perhaps I'm growing. I don't know. Maybe it's the vapors. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway,
but I like this idea that I've like asked you about this maybe, and this is just kind of like the ramblings of a young teen.
Exactly.
Like, I'm a little bit older than you. I bat my eyes a little bit, and you just kind of start rambling about your background as we're standing in this hall.
I just, cannot, say enough. The classic, hey, we're talking about me here, folks. Let me just keep going, because I can go on for this all day if you want.
Right. Charlotte kind of has this like quiet like agreement with you that makes you feel more important, I think. But like just as quickly, like once you start like rambling a bit, her eyes will just kind of like turn and like, nonchalantly stop you without making you feel, unimportant, of course. But towards Verdic.
He during this conversation has been just rifling through his things, making sure everything's in order. He seems completely like he was not paying attention, but the moment there is silence, he perks up, and you notice there's a scar on the left side of his face. Very long, looks like he took quite the slash to the face, and it didn't seem to heal quite right. He's definitely older. Late 30s, probably early 40s. Native born Saxon, so he does not feel too comfortable within the court, but he knows that since he is a native born Saxon, he's, still well respected. So
okay. And I'm kind of imagining, since you've been around in the courts, with Charlotte, at least you've definitely encountered Charlotte. And how old are you? Are you on the older side or?
Older side for sure, yeah.
Yeah, you've definitely seen Charlotte grow up. I'm just kind of curious, is your opinion positive, or are you kind of like in the look at our pampered brat that I've had to watch grow up sort of mindset?
I believe that all of the court is a bit beneath myself. However, I still respect their position, because without their money and their castle, I would be still hunting in the woods all alone. And
begrudging respect.
I've made a name for myself, and I don't quite feel ready to let go of it.
Okay, excellent. Then I guess that Charlotte would just kind of turn to Verdic and ask in a chipper voice, "Are you ready to go then?"
Always am. You know me.
Oh, excellent. Just excellent. I'm so terribly sorry to hold up the show. Of course, if you wish to get the horses ready and perhaps check the perimeter on things, I just need the briefest word with the priest to bless our voyage and for a safe trip. And I'm going to like take the like proclamation to go visit the priest.
I would like to make it clear that Verdic is the only pagan party right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to try to kill you later. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. So, Verdic, you go to the stables to ready the horses. Konrad, what are you doing? Are you
I'm
accompany the
gonna
lady, or
head off to the kitchen and prepare grab some rations. Since a typical teenage boy, being prepared, he doesn't like going hungry, and
yeah, absolutely.
grab basically enough food for how long is the journey?
2 hours.
2 hours. So prepare enough food for 2 days for 6 people.
Right on.
Excellent.
Yes, indeed. Excellent. All right. We'll start with Lady Charlotte and the priest.
I'm going to burst into the priest's chambers rather dramatically and sigh deeply. And what's the priest's name?
The priest is we'll say it's a good French oh no, he's a good Saxon convert. Yeah, he'll be a good Saxon convert.
William.
William, yes, that's a great Saxon name.
Okay. William, terrible news. We have pagans that we have to deal with, and I need your advice.
Oh yes, my lady Charlotte, yes, as always, you've come to me to seek my wisdom.
Yes, you know the ways of these people being not of the true blood like me. I need your advice on how to deal with these people. They say that there's a sacred tree of theirs that were cut down. They're sending apologies. Apologies. Can you believe that? They should wish they should count their lucky stars, their lucky pagan stars, that we didn't cut down more of their trees, that we leave up these effigies to their pagan gods still to these days. Just is disgraceful.
My child, just you must remember there are people in the world that are not like you. They have ways that are different. So,
and it's terrible, isn't it?
Well, not for them. It's their way. So we, as loving followers of the Lord, we must find it in our hearts to embrace their differences and only turn a slight to them when they slight us first, for it's an eye for an eye.
I'm going to waggle my finger. You've been reading too much of that New Testament, haven't you?
What New Testament is this you speak?
I don't know enough about Christian history, but I'm just going to press on. I know the old books. God was a vengeful thing and told us to spread the word of his existence here on earth. Some of the other kingdoms have waged holy wars in their name, and we allow pagan trees to be lying around. Don't you think
that weren't for the pagans, you would have no food, you would have no castle, you would have nothing. So keep that in mind, because they're the ones that keep you fat and happy, Charlotte, my lady.
Are you calling me fat?
In a figurative manner. Yes. I do believe your character is quite attractive, it says.
Beauty standards were also different during that time, so
very different. Yeah,
you're gonna take it as a compliment. That
absolutely, especially that you're French, right? That
yes, I look very fat and happy. Well, I shall keep this word of tolerance in mind. I do not know if I quite agree with that particular interpretation of the good Lord, but I shall keep it in mind. This tree, what can you tell me of these sacred trees? I'm afraid that I've averted my eyes from such pagan things up to now. What can you tell me about these trees?
And just as he's about to start speaking, a guard comes in. Ah, Lady Charlotte, there you are. I've been looking all over the castle for you. Lord Boniface is not happy that you are lingering about. He insists that you must get a move on immediately. Please gather your party. He is quite upset, in a foul mood. The fitting is not going well. And he is, you know how he gets. So please spare me.
I think I've been in the castle for a while, so I have to imagine I know these guards, and I'm just gonna like scowl at him and then like gather my things and head off towards the rest of the group.
Very well. And any lingering in the kitchen, Konrad, basically the same thing happens once you get your little bundle of things. If you're sitting there maybe snacking or whatever, you got to fuel up before the ride. Similar thing will occur. The guard comes in and tells you to hurry it along. Lord Boniface is unhappy. And Verdic, you actually have seen the two guards as they came to the stables first to see if you had left. You told them that the other two had gone to, get provisions and speak with the priest, and that's how these guards knew where to find them.
While they were dilly-dallying about the castle, I would like to have made some sort of Yuletide, like little token or something to show good graces and whatnot. But I'm going to put that in my bag and make sure it's all hidden away before they come.
Okay, fantastic. So as you all kind of meet back up there in the as you all kind of meet back up there in the stables, gathering the horses, there is a good couple of inches of snow on the ground. And as you head out from Sherborne, heading towards the village of Derek's Holding, clouds threaten far in the distance additional snowfall. You can see it. It's cold. The wind is blowing. You're definitely bundled up. It's uncomfortable, even though you have layers and warmth. As you journey along a couple hours, you begin to arrive on the outskirts of Derek's Holding. It's a small village collection of about 20 modest dwellings, thatched roofs, wood walls, basically very primitive construction. There are a few of these houses that have chimneys, would indicate that they have a fireplace inside at some point. As you're coming in, go ahead and make a spot hidden for me.
Uh, 70 on 75.
Okay. So we got Verdic sees it.
Fail.
Okay. Verdic, you notice on the outskirts of the village, there are several wolf tracks in the snow. Fresh. And in the distance, you hear the cawing of a crow. You look over and there is a scarecrow set up in one of the fields, just one, and a crow sitting on it. The covering the scarecrow's face is a leather mask dyed in what looks like some sort of yellow color.
How heavy is it, like, snowing? Like, is it midday at this point? Like,
Yeah, it's about midday at this point. It isn't snowing, but it probably will soon.
could I follow these tracks just a bit? Not for too long, but
Yeah, the wolf tracks. Yeah, they leave.
If you start indicating to like leave the group, I'm going to like look like if you like start walking away on the horse. The Derek, are you leaving us here in this heathen land by ourselves?
you'll be fine. Just stay outside the gates. They won't bite. It's fine.
It won't bite. It's fine.
I'm going to read my Bible.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you follow the tracks a little bit and they wind. You know how wolves hunt. This is definitely a pack of wolves that were on the hunt, and you track them all the way into the village. You can see their tracks. It's obvious they went into the village.
Would I see tracks coming out?
You do not see any tracks coming out.
Okay. I'm gonna return to the group. I'm just gonna stay on your horses. Be ready to go, just in case something happens.
Well, what could possibly happen?
Well, in these heathen lands, as you so say, we have animals to deal with. And it seems that a pack of wolves may have wandered into town. Maybe following some rabbit or something, but it doesn't seem like they've left. At least not through this entrance.
I'm just gonna say underneath my breath, well, you get what you put out. What heathens deserve, wolves amongst their ranks.
Wow. I love it. I love it. As you enter the village, it's very obvious now that you're close and moving in. It's quiet. It's still. And as you approach the outermost home, you notice all the doors and windows are shut tight on every building except for one. The one closest to the entrance. And as you approach, kind of riding and walking slowly, you see the home, its door hangs open. And Verdic, you can see something moving inside.
Gonna throw up my hand and make sure they don't, like, the hand of like, hey, stop.
As you do that, suddenly in the doorway appears a very large wolf. It growls menacingly, baring its fangs and crouching low. Behind it, two more sulk out of the shadows. The beasts glare towards you, and the fur on their snouts and jaws is stained red with blood.
How big are they?
They're full-grown wolves. Three
Just
of
wolves? Just regular wolf size?
them. Yep, just regular wolves.
All right.
Large dog size.
All right, I guess I'll pull my spear.
You're gonna draw your spear. What's Konrad and Lady Charlotte doing at the sight of these wolves?
I'm going to draw my weapon, but stay mounted.
I am proffering out my cross. I am going to try to kick the. You're not on a mount, aren't you, kiddo? Youngster.
I beg your pardon. I am second cousin to Lord Boniface.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's the other one that's done. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. You're very right. I'm gonna kick my horse and I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm backing up a good couple dozen feet, separating myself from this group, or looking to take a stand of some kind from the horse with the wolves.
Okay. So it looks like Verdic and Konrad, you are prepared to engage these wolves should they charge forth.
Indeed.
Yes, they in fact do break out of the doorway and begin charging you. So it'll be I think I have yours here. That's your 55, and Konrad, you are 60. Cool. Yep. And they will charge full on. One of them stops short, kind of guarding the door as if it's guarding its kill. The other two charge forward. Verdic, one to you and one leaps up to Konrad. They have a really good dex. So first one to Verdic. Oh, that's going to be a fail. He does not land his blow on you. Wow, these dice are sucking tonight. The other one runs just under you, almost as if they are more trying to just scare you away than actually attack. But would you like to go ahead and fight back, or just save your attack and go?
Yeah, I'm gonna save my attack, make a run for it. I was only gonna attack if they were more trying to actually land hits.
Well, it sounds like they're actively attacking you, right?
They're attacking, but they're almost there's no reason. Verdic, you know wolves. You are the master of the hunt. You have all this knowledge of wolves, and you know that they are fierce predators, and they wouldn't miss on accident. So if they did not land an attack on you, there's a reason.
Yeah. Turn and tail and at least trying to make my way to wherever Lady Charlotte has run off to.
Protect the Lady Charlotte at all costs, I see. How about you, Konrad?
Seeing as seeing Verdic move back, I'm also going to move back in a defensive posture. This is something that I've not seen out of Verdic, but Verdic knows animals, and I've come to trust his opinion on such things. So I'm going to move back and kind of position myself kind of between the animals and Lady Charlotte.
All right. They continue to approach. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna be yelling the whole time. What are you doing? Kill those foul beasts! What are you doing? Like, as you're like backing up and like, nah, I'm just gonna ignore them. Like, I'm just like full on yelling at you to strike down the wolves.
Strike down those beasts.
Start yelling.
Yeah, they're fucking wolves. I'm like, what are you doing? Kill the wolves.
Yep.
Start yelling. This is a village. I'm at least going to drag them out of the village. I'm going to try and get them out of there, at least.
What? You can get them out by killing them. My voice just gets higher and higher.
Just keep going back and forth.
Yeah. All right. So, Verdic, dodge, fight back, or what's the other one? I forgot.
Good question.
Flight, freeze, or flee? Is that what you're talking about?
No, fight back or dodge.
Okay. Is this like after I've made my run?
Yeah, you're moving back, and the wolf is charging at you again. This time, it bares its fangs and opens its mouth. Its jaws and fur around its face is just completely dripping with blood as it charges at you. It is in like a bloodlust mode, and now it's know there's no way it is going to miss you this time. It is coming for you.
Would I have time to like pull out my bow and dock an arrow?
Nope.
And shoot? Nope. All right, spirit is. Let's go.
Fight back. All right.
Oh, fuck. As a fail.
That's a fail. Ow, this might hurt a little. As the wolf lands a nasty bite on you. Ow, 7 points of damage.
No,
minus
this is
your armor.
Haha. I only took 4 damage.
Very nice. Okay, Konrad, the other one is leaping out of the snow, just coming right for you. Your horse is very scared and skittish. Are you gonna fight back or dodge? Or what's the other one?
It shall taste my blade.
Very well. Roll your fight back.
The other one is to ready an action.
Oh, yeah, to ready. Okay.
29 out of 80.
I do believe that you win that one. Yeah, that is that's a hard, isn't it? 29 out of 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard. So yeah, roll your damage on that to the wolf.
Now I'm not saying I was right, but I was right.
8.
8. Ooh, ow.
Yeah.
All right. Lady Charlotte, your defenders are being attacked by the. Are you going to continue to backpedal?
I mean, is there any wolves between me and the road that we came down?
No, you could go back the way you came. They're basically looks
mean-
like they're trying to force you out of the village.
I'm just like kicking the horse and like getting out of there as quick as I possibly can. I don't know.
Okay, very well. Lady
I mean,
Charlotte.
as long as I don't see any other horses, right? Like if there's like horses, not horses, any other wolves like in the background or in the wolves in the woods. God, I cannot talk tonight. In the woods. Like I don't want to like run away and be separated, but if the only wolves I see are at the house, then I'm like running away.
Yeah, that's what you see. And in fact, when you turn around, you notice that there actually isn't any livestock in the fields or any animals around. It's just these wolves.
Yeah, I'm fucking leaving. I'm gone. I nope, gone.
You're just noping out and gonna head off.
I don't have a single combat skill.
I know. You're just noping out.
I have a knife, but that is not my first choice. I'm out of there. Yeah.
You're out. Very well. Lady Charlotte bails out. Let's see, Verdic and Konrad, you both fought back. Here come the wolves, latched on and not. Let's see.
Oh man, I'm hoping for TPK in the first fight so bad.
Oh my God, how do I know? That's
That would be-
horrible. Okay,
That would be
those both
very funny.
dodge, fight back, or ready.
I'm brawling. My weapons have been failing me. I've got to brawl. Oh God, my dice rollers. No, this dice roller's got to be rigged. I have not rolled anything lower than a 60.
You want some physical dice?
Yes. Gotta walk in. Wait, I have physical dice actually.
Come get some.
Yeah.
Um,
1 sec.
Konrad, how about you?
Oh, I'm fighting. This is training for me. This is sport.
There you go.
I'm getting dice. I'm getting my damn dice.
28 out of 80.
What dice?
Right there. 28 out of 80. Yeah, you land it. Same one. Roll your damage.
4.
4. The wolf lets out a howl, a squeal, and ends up lifeless on the snow next to you on the ground. With that, the second and third wolf kind of even get more energized. The one in the house just tackles get up more and more. And the one that Verdic is fighting goes in again. Come back your dice. Actually. All right, Verdic, what are you doing?
All right. I am going to attempt a brawl.
Very well.
I think that maybe, just maybe, my character's gonna die. 94, I fail.
I'm
Well,
so unreasonable because I love when characters die. It's like my favorite moment, and I just cheer for it at every opportunity.
He's
How much
already
HP
so
do you have
dear.
left?
13.
Oh yeah. Well, your fight back does not succeed. It looks like my camera went all blurry. There we go.
Camera
Your
does
fight
not
back does
succeed.
not succeed, and you land another gashing bite from a wolf, taking another 7 points of damage.
Ooh, one more and you die. Yes, yes.
It's fine. I only take 5. It's fine. Surviving. It's 13 minus 5.
Unfortunately.
Not by much. All right. Konrad, you fought back last turn. Your wolf is dead. You have an opportunity here to take an action. As you see, Lady Charlotte has galloped away into the nearby field, away from all of this nonsense.
Can I take a swing at Verderic's wolf?
Absolutely.
Save
That's
me.
what I'll do. That's a 39 out of 80.
Konrad's hot shit tonight. That's what's
Konrad's on
happening.
fire. Great. Roll your damage.
9.
Holy cow. Yeah. So catching the wolf from behind, you ride up and do one of those sweeping blade, and just from tail to scruff of neck, you just slice this wolf wide open. It lands with a thud at Verdic's feet, just bleeding out, staining the snow to red.
Jesus.
The wolf in the house runs off into the distance, leaving the house unguarded. Verdic, Konrad just probably saved your life.
Looking down at Verderic, do I see obvious signs of wounds?
Oh yeah, he's bleeding pretty good.
I look down to him and say, "Come here, old man. Let me see if I can do something about that wound for you." And I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of first aid.
Okay.
Just gonna grumble the whole time. Just
I rolled a 48 out of 40.
Yep, nothing you can do for this. That might be rabies.
God just wants me dead.
The sweet call of death and release.
Lady Charlotte, you see the wolves fall. Konrad has saved the day. The third wolf runs off. You are in this field, though, with this scarecrow, and you notice the scarecrow's mask. It's dyed in what you know is a very expensive and difficult to obtain shade of yellow.
Is the fight over?
Yes.
I'm gonna get off my horse and I'm gonna ladylike knock over the scarecrow and stomp it into the ground.
You know, as you walk up to it, you get the odd sensation that you have seen this color yellow somewhere before in your life. You know that you haven't, but there's something just eerily familiar about this shade of yellow. You can't place it right now, but it's that you've seen it somewhere. Surely. It's just eerily familiar.
This is evidence of the vast pagan infiltration that has happened in the court, and all the more reason for the sign to be destroyed.
Very well.
So yeah, I'm gonna stomp the shit out of this scarecrow, mostly because I'm still a little bit residual scared from the wolf attack, and I have like a lot of pent up energy, and they're fucking pagans, and I'm just like stomping the shit out of this, like very unladylike.
You didn't even want to be here anyway, right? Like,
yeah. That's a lot. I don't fucking want this shit, as I'm like just like stomping this poor scarecrow.
Very well. Yeah, you stomp it in, it's broken. You notice as you stomp it, the bag hold kind of underneath this leather mask erupts. oak leaves fall out all over the place. You could just see them getting kicked up in the wind. They're definitely oak tree leaves. So
stupid fucking oak trees and stupid fucking pagans and
how very Christian of you, Lady Charlotte.
look, I am an aggressive Christian here, you know.
There you go. There you go.
Convert by word or sword, and you know this village is looking really swordy. The scarecrow itself, I assume it's one of those ones that are kind of like on a T, and I'm gonna bring back up the structure, and I'm gonna leave it as a cross before I return back to the group.
Yeah, you two see Lady Charlotte doing this off in the distance. You have no idea actually what's going on. And then she stands up across. It's like converting the scarecrow to Christianity kind of moment.
Rub my temples and just recite like I am not going to kill a member of the court.
Nice.
I lean over to Verdic as I reach into my sack and pull out a little parcel that's wrapped in some cloth. I open the cloth up and I pull out my knife and I carve off a nice hunk of cheese and hand it over to Verdic and say, "Have you seen something like this before? This is news to me. Here, have some cheese. It's good for you."
It's good, oh what?
Just gonna take the cheese.
But
He's bleeding out. He takes the cheese, sighs, and he's like, probably.
Very well. So after all that, I guess, Lady Charlotte, do you come back to the group? Regroup with everyone. You see Verdic's obvious wounds that he was attacked by the wolf.
I'll make a gross face at it and be like, "You should cover those."
I was protecting your ass.
You don't want them to get infected. I'm trying to be helpful here. Why are you yelling at me?
Why don't you help then? Put some of
I don't know about first aid.
Christian crap in here. I don't know.
Well, if there's people that need, okay, I will go spread the good word. I'm gonna go like stomp off towards the house that the wolves were in.
Spread the good word. All right. Yeah, as you approach, the first thing that you notice is this overwhelming stench of animal, the muskiness of wolf. It's almost unbearable.
I mean, that's how pagans live. I'm not excited. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, this is exactly what you think a pagan house would smell like.
Yeah.
And as you step in, do the two of you follow Lady Charlotte towards the house?
Begrudgingly.
Yes.
All right, cool. As you step inside, it is a horrible scene. There are bodies of 6 villagers, women and children among them, torn and savaged upon the floor. Chairs and tables overturned. Snow has blown into the house. There are wolf prints everywhere. All of the bodies appear to have been fed upon, and the entire room has the stench of a wolf den. Verdic would recognize it as that, but Lady Charlotte would just think it smells like pagans. Go ahead and make a sanity check for me.
I was about to say.
I have just now realized my sanity is 40.
Somebody's going crazy.
Oh, man,
I'm gonna die.
70, dog. Be a lady. That's how you get through life. Fucking 70 sanity. I passed.
I passed.
So I need to roll below my sanity?
That's the way it works.
I rolled a 12 out of 65.
Good job. This is kind of what you all expected to see, having seen the wolves come out of here. Just go ahead and take 1 sand loss.
Hell yeah, man. My number is at the good number.
There you
Can I
go.
voluntarily faint? Can
What's that?
I voluntarily faint?
Yeah, I think that makes sense for your character to either faint or feel woozy at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
sight.
like or like over dramatically. I don't know. I feel like there's a certain expectation for her in her class to react negatively to this. So like she either like works herself up to doing this or actually does it, but yeah, she just keels over. She like you guys, she's ahead of you. You see her walk into the room, and like doorframe just like ungracefully just face plants into the earth.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. There are scratch marks and gnaw marks all over the door. It is broken off of the hinges. It looks like the wolves worked on this door for quite a while before they were able to get in. None of the other houses that you can see from here have open doors. They're all closed. So,
I'm going to promptly ignore the passed out nobility and go find some follow that original. Can I find that original trail of wolf tracks? Do they lead into this house or do they go somewhere else if I can?
There is a set that leads in here. There are sets that go basically, if you try to track them, that every house, every door is scratched upon and chewed upon and from wolves. But this seems to be the only one that was broken into.
Okay. Gonna shout back to Konrad and be like, hey, I mean, it looks like those were the only ones who made it in, so we should be good for now. Hopefully.
In the
I like to
distance,
imagine that you're shouting this over my like body. Like you're in the doorway and I'm just still like laying their face down in the dirt and you're just like shouting this over me.
Yes.
Yeah, in the dirt
Yes.
floor that's got decomposing bodies and perfect.
I'll be attending to Lady Charlotte and attempt to clean her off and bring her back around and as she if I can bring her back around, I will carve off another lump of cheese and hand it to her and go, here, this will help.
Oh, thank you, Konrad. I'm like gonna like lean in and kind of whisper sultrily to Konrad. I saw how you did with the wolves there. The Derek is looking awfully old, isn't he?
Yes, but don't judge him too harshly. He still knows a thing or two about the woods, but clearly not much about wolves.
Hey, Verdic,
a dog kept too long out.
Verdic, make a natural world roll for me, please.
Sit. God, I don't have any desk room. This is why I don't use physical desk. Oh, that's 28 on 60.
Awesome. A hard. Fantastic. You realize this isn't normal for wolves. Like, this behavior is not natural for them to act this way. It is quite odd.
I'm not going to relay this because they will not believe me. I will, however, at least attempt to send a prayer or whatever little burial ritual I can do without actively having to bury the bodies because I see they're definitely a bit too maimed for that.
The ones in this house are for sure. Do you all, now that Lady Charlotte, you're up, Konrad, do you all investigate the rest of this house? Do you go out and find Verdic? What are you two doing as Verdic is kind of tracking the wolves around, looking at the other houses, entryways, and
I would clutch close to Konrad, but like try to kind of like guide him to what I want, which is kind of like to investigate this house and find out what happened to the other residents. But like it's like I'm like clinging to Konrad's arm and be like, oh, don't you think we should see what's happening at the other houses and like that sort of thing. Like not independently, but like trying to get Konrad to do what I want.
Yeah.
And I, of course, am going to say, oh, you're right. Maybe we should go see the other houses, all the while just continuing to search high and low in this building. Just checking everybody, every nook and every cranny. Yes, we should go right away to these other houses here. And I peel off another piece of cheese and hand it to Lady Charlotte.
You're while we're walking along, I'm just gonna. You're only a second cousin to Bonifer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What side of the family is that on by chance? I've never quite paid attention to you in the courts, as it were, but a second cousin. I'm only a cousin to Bonifer myself, of course.
Ah, I see. And which side of the family did you say you were from?
Oh, I'm on his mother's side of things.
Ah, I see. Yes, I'm on his father's side.
Oh, wouldn't you know? Okay, well, I'm just curious, and I'm just gonna keep talking to Konrad about inbred nobility type shit as we're walking around.
Of course, because got to keep it in the family. That's how nobility goes.
Yes.
Yeah, you all kind of meet up with Verdic. You have just finished your prayer to the old ones to bless the guiding of these poor souls.
The old ones?
The river of, and Lady Charlotte and Konrad walk up to you. You're standing outside another house. The door is closed, but there are, claw marks and whatnot all over the front of the door.
I'm going to walk up to the door and give it a quick knock.
So just a rap on the door. You kind of knock on the door.
Yeah, quick, shaving a haircut kind of.
Sure. Yeah, there's no answer.
To which I will do my best impression of going, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, is anybody there? Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, still no answer.
Verdic, what have you found?
I'm gonna
Clearly, there's no one home. Where did all the town people go? And we have this Yule gift. Gosh, I hope it's not a log.
Well, there's a whole thing for us Saxons. We don't open doors during Yule time, especially when we aren't expecting visitors. Don't want to let in evil spirits and all that. You wouldn't get it. It's too much to worry about. Seems like all these doors have these claw marks, but none of them were like the first house we broke into. Place is a ghost town.
I think that we should just tack up the sign about the tree and get out of here. This whole business seems rather foreboding, and I feel as if we will do our business to deliver the message. We just tack it up on his door. He will see it if it's relevant.
Do you know where he lives? Which door to put this
no,
upon?
Of course I don't come out here very often.
Make an insight roll for me, Lady Charlotte. Make an insight roll.
I might know. I don't know. I listen to people.
You might.
Ooh, I got a 60 on 61, so success.
You think the best place to place it would be at the communal well. All of these villages have to gather water from somewhere, and so certainly when he went to get water, he would find it there at the well.
Oh, excellent. Okay, yes, I'm going to look smug as fuck and say, well, of course we should put this near the well. I mean, not their own individual door. These pagans share houses all the time anyways, and I can't identify the specific house that they might work. I'm going to put it up on the well, okay? I'm just going to take care of this, and we can leave, and we'll be fine. And I'm going to take the paper, toddle over to the well.
Amazing decision-making, of course, yes.
Yeah, when you get over to the well, you notice it has been completely destroyed. The stonework has been demolished. The entire opening has been boarded over.
This is just how they live. I'm going to lift up a rock. I'm going to put the piece of paper on there, and I'm going to put the rock on top of it to kind of weigh down the piece. I'm going to dust my hands of any stone dust, and I'm going to say, all right, we can leave now.
Verdic and Konrad, do you I guess you accompany Lady Charlotte over here to this well?
Would I know this village? Would I know the people here or around here?
You would probably know of the village. You don't spend a lot of time in the village, but you know the village because of when you hunt in the woods nearby.
I have a suggestion, maybe. Maybe he has a hunting buddy out here.
See, I have another thing that I'm testing to see, but I don't want to say out loud.
You don't want to give the GM too much, too many ideas, of course, right?
Right. Yeah.
Send it to you.
Yeah, send me a DM. That's fine. How about Konrad? Do you accompany Lady Charlotte? That she has shown you some favor.
Oh, absolutely. I head over and, I help her with the stonework. And while she's, struggling with one stone, I reach over and I pick up a really big one. And I go, here, let me help you. And I just start building this, large stone, pile kind of thing around the note. Flexing my muscles as I go.
Yes. Excellent. I will take all the assistance I can get in like setting up a nice little display for this message, such that I can feel as if I have fulfilled my duty to my king, and then so that way we can get the fuck out of here.
Lady Charlotte, will I work with this stonework here? Why don't you go collect some flowers? Perfectly knowing that there's snow on the ground and there isn't a chance of a flower anywhere, but got to send her on a mission. Why don't you collect some flowers and we'll leave a nice bouquet of flowers here for them as well.
Oh, of course. The color will attract their simple eyes over to this place and thus find the message that we are leaving for them. Of course. I'll go like toddle off to a field.
Sure. Off in the field, Lady Charlotte, you're kind of musing about this, thinking about Konrad and how silly he's acting. And you stumble across this snow-covered mound. You're maybe 100 yards from the village, and it is just in the middle of the field, just this big mound of dirt that the snow has kind of fallen on. It's covered with straw and snow and earth. It looks like there's something sticking out of it, like a handle of something.
I'm going to look at that. I'm going to stare at it for a second. Is there any nearby sticks?
Yeah, sure. There's some sticks here. It probably look like when they were used to kind of build this mound, actually.
Okay. I'm going to take two of those sticks of about equal size, right? And I'm going to place one about 2/3 of the way up the length of the other one, and tie them with a ribbon out of my hair to create a cross. And I'm just going to walk over and plant it in the mound and then walk away.
Yeah, as you plant it in the mound, it makes a clunky noise, like hitting against something inside. Not like a rock, but like a clunking noise.
I'm gonna like, again, like exerting that, like I have a moment by myself and therefore can exercise a little bit of the frustration. I'm just gonna like really dig with the stick and be like, oh, what the fuck is this thing? Like, until like the stick gets embedded in the mound.
Yeah,
as somebody looks from the distance, they just see me wham jangling this stick into the mound.
I love that word. Yeah, you do that, and it actually kind of starts to break the dirt loose on the mound. It crumbles away in part, and you see mugs and jugs, pots, and you realize the sticks that you picked up are actually broken shovel handles.
Yeah.
there are pots and cups and everything, like a lot of them. And it looks like they were just hastily buried in this mound of dirt.
For taxable income reasons, I'm going to kind of root around in there to see if they're having some like hiding production from the castle or something. I don't understand how own kingdom sort of. Actually, I'm kind of curious because I don't know much about how life is. This like life-giving material? Is this just a dump, or like what is the function of this pile here?
It looks haphazard. It looks rushed and hurried. There doesn't seem to be any sense to it.
Yeah, I think she would just like take note of it and then like get the stick buried in, leave it, and be like, well, shit's fucked out here. Let's deliver the message and leave.
Okay. As you head
like
back,
a bunch of trash. She's not gonna like dig around in the trash to find something. You know what I mean?
yeah, it seems beneath her to go digging in, but yeah. On your way back, you see from the distance, you can see the village, right? In more of an open view. And there's one house that's slightly different than all the rest. It's older, it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's just different. Something about it just strikes you as different.
All right. I will return to Konrad and Verdic and then egg one of them on to take me for a tour of that house, but I won't go investigate it by myself.
Okay. Konrad and Verdic, you're kind of standing there. Lady Charlotte goes to pick some flowers, and Verdic, what are you doing here? You're kind of just kicking the dirt. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go to the spot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if anyone's there, if there's a message there.
When you get there, the message is in its normal place. It says, we won't be coming back here. This land is cursed.
Okay. I'm gonna do my usual thing, take it, tear it up, burn it, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And return a bit more cautiously.
Okay, very well. Konrad, as Verdic kind of wanders off, what are you doing? Kind of keeping an eye on Lady Charlotte to prevent any danger from occurring to her, or you find something to muse yourself?
So let's see. Lady Charlotte was interested in doing what? Mute.
Unmute. Unmute. When I come back, I would report about the strange building. I would say that it gives me an uneasy feeling. And that, well, perhaps we should interrogate that. You know how I am about my feelings. I must pursue them to the best of my abilities. And I'm normally right. So I feel as if we should go check out this building.
Well, absolutely. We are searching for old man Tail, was it? Tail Graybeard or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With that in mind, we're still searching for our charge. I will head on over towards that building and see if there's anything afoot there.
Yeah, and you as you head that way, you see Verdic kind of coming out from behind another building and walking back your direction. You meet on the path. This home is slightly different than the rest. There are no claw marks on the door. There are no tooth marks, no chewing, nothing of that matter. Um,
Okay. I'm gonna Konrad, perhaps you should be the first one in. I'm terribly useless in this particular matter. But I will scream for Verdic if I hear anything untoward happening.
Where is Verdic? Verdic has joined us.
yeah, he's
Okay.
coming up behind y'all, kind of joining y'all.
So I will.
Skulking
I will do my knocking again. The shave and a haircut, 2 bits kind of a thing.
Yeah, and as you knock on the door, it slowly begins to swing open, creaking on very old hinges, rusty hinges. The smell of old dirt and just unlike the foul smelling wolf's den of before, it's fresh but dirty, like that wet dirt smell.
Clearly, not enough oil has been in this community. We should probably do something about that. And I just walk in.
All right. Yeah, you walk in and it is basically just a one room kind of building, right? Like kind of shack. There is a small room with a well padded bed. It's high with basically several blankets that kind of make its padding. At the foot is a chest, and the bed's empty. It doesn't look like anybody's been here for quite some time. And on the wall beside the bed is a drawing in yellow. Go ahead and make me a sanity roll as you see this sign. It's funny though, it's familiar to you, this sign, this art, if you want to call it that. Pat?
I made it.
Okay. Yeah, it's familiar to you. It's, you've seen this before. Somehow it's strange.
Lady Charlotte, come in here. Come out of the wind and cold. It is much nicer in here. What do you make of this artwork? I know you're an aficionado, a connoisseur, shall we say, of modern art. Does any of this ring a bell to you?
I will walk in and make a sand check.
Yes, please.
My sand's so good.
You see the two of them go inside.
I wouldn't go in without Verdic. I should say. I will gesture for Verdic to follow us. And if Verdic doesn't, I won't go in. Just as a small note.
I'm gonna say Verdic scans the room, didn't hear anyone screaming upon entrance, and firmly states, I will not be entering that house. It is against hospitality. And for this coming winter, I need all the favor of the gods. I will not be entering this home.
Verdic, it is quite all right. I have cheese.
Your cheese will not satiate Odin's anger.
No, but it is a quite fine cheese.
It is a fine cheese. I will enjoy on this side of the door.
I'm just gonna squint at Verdic and say, who is your service to?
This one? This basic hospitality? Well, my parents.
Who is your who do you have ultimate service to?
Myself.
I shall tell the king that, and then I will enter the
room. Nice. Yeah. So did you make your sand?
Yeah, I made my sand.
Okay. You're good. But you too, this is very familiar to you. Again, much like the mask that you saw out in the field, you get this just odd feeling. You've seen this before. You and Konrad both can now access your Hastur lore. points that you had amassed during Adventus Regis, by the way.
Ooh, nice. I'm going to turn to Konrad and just kind of whisper, Verdic is looking old. I really think we should leave now if we were to perhaps act on behalf of the king. I don't think that Verdic is to be trusted in any of these matters. This all seems rather pagan in its orientation, and they're clearly not to be trusted. They would not enter this house, even though the king has expressed that their interest is to act on their behalf. I think that clearly expresses that they are unwilling to act against these pagan works. So I think we should leave for the castle once we wrap up in this house here.
I have no problem with that, and I will proceed to search the rest of the room and see if I can find anything that might lead us to where Kale Greybeard might happen to be or have gone.
Yeah, as you search the room, like I said, there's the chest. I guess you're going to open the chest.
Sure.
Okay. Inside the chest is a tarnished silver goblet, an ancient gold torque, and some moth-eaten cloaks and tunics. Once they were colorfully dyed, but now the dye has faded. Verdic, make me a navigate roll, please.
Fill me now, dice. That is a 5 on a 60.
You see in the distance, kind of back towards the direction of the castle, the snow beginning to fall quite heavily, and the shadows have gotten long in the day. You're unsure if you'll be able to make it back to the castle before nightfall at this point. It is a 2-hour journey under the conditions of just snow on the ground, not in a driving blizzard.
How much daylight would you say we have?
Probably about 3 hours of daylight. And you estimate, depending on how heavy that snow is, it could take you anywhere from 2.5 to 4 hours, just depending on how heavy the snow is.
Yeah, I'll just yell, not even like looking inside. I've propped myself up against one of the walls and I'm just yelling, it's now or never. We're either staying here or we're trying to make it back home.
And Konrad, as you continue to search the house, you notice that everything is in place. Everything is as if this person will be back. Like nothing's disturbed. In the other house that you kind of searched around, everything was tossed around and it was ransacked. But in this one, not the case.
Interesting.
And you hear Verdic's warning about the time as well.
I don't need to be told twice. I'm fucking outie. If I get any warning, hey, we should. Okay, all right, we'll get these fucking horses and leave.
I guess I will take the things for further study and query later, and to bring back to Lord Boniface and saddle up and mosey on out of here.
All right.
I will make a comment to Konrad as relief. Konrad, it is rather unfortunate, but I do think you should let Verdic ride with you, such that we might gallop our way to the castle and shave some sort of time, as uncouth as that might be, it seems that the situation dictates it such.
Oh, but of course, I think in this circumstance, we can make exceptions. Verdic, hop on.
Sure thing.
Heading back to the castle.
Doodle-doo, back to the castle. Through the snow, you reach the outside of the castle gates just as darkness takes over the land. The sun has set. You've had enough twilight to make it. The snow has been just horrible getting back. And you return to Lord Boniface, half frozen, and it is now dark. Like I said, you're exhausted. However, the guards say, no time to warm up or ready yourselves. Lord Boniface demands a report immediately. So okay. Still with frost clinging to your cloaks, your wounds still oozing blood from your wolf attack, you are led into the Norman Lord's audience chamber, where he demands to know, how did it go? Did you give my word? Did you prepare my apologies to this Kale Greybeard?
I would like to step forward.
All right.
Yep.
Verdic, you were saying you wanted to step forward?
Yeah. I wanted to step forward and present a report and say, I know I am not as important as some of the people in this court, but I find myself as a Saxon the most equipped to report on the terrifying things we came across. The entire village seemed to have been evacuated. There was a wolf den in one of the homes. The town just covered in tracks and claw marks. Unlike wolves and animals of this nature, they would never attack a town as such. And
they abandoned my village? They must be hunted down and found. They must pay for their crimes. They cannot just run away from my village. This is unacceptable. And I should have expected something like this. This is how they want to show disrespect because of their silly tree. I cannot believe this. I will have them found. They will all be brought before me, and they shall pay for this.
Speaking of disrespect, sir, I don't mean to interject myself on these matters, but I do need to report another incidence of disrespect from one of our very own members. Konrad, in Verdiric's telling of things, they might have overemphasized their own ability against the wolves that attacked us. It was mostly Konrad, in fact, that defended us from the wolves, and Verdic would have fallen if it wasn't for Konrad's actions. And whilst investigating the happenings of the towns, Verdic refused their kingly duties to investigate any of the happenings of the town. So any telling that they might give is, of course, fractured by their unwillingness to do anything.
Is there truth to this, Verdic? You are the master of the hunt. You cannot be taken by a wolf. You've told me yourself there's no beast on this land that can kill you.
No man works alone, my king. My strength is not in my solidarity, it is in my comrades.
Ah, wise words, Verdic. Perhaps, Lady Charlotte, you could temper your enthusiasm a bit.
I shall temper my expectations.
Those as well. Young Konrad, what say you? How did things go from were you able to recover any of their lost treasures that may be able to pay for a new shipment of grain this spring, as we will be out and now have no one to work the fields there in Derek's holding? Where will we ever find more people? Please, Konrad, tell me you found something of interest or value.
Well, if you're looking for wolf pelts, I can tell you where there are at least two, freshly killed. Though they might need a little bit of work and stitching to make just right. It was most odd that there was a wolf den inside a house. I've never heard of such things. Treasures you speak of. There were no treasures, so to speak, but we did come across one particular house that was untouched. It had an odd painting inside it. I didn't recognize it, and I asked Lady Charlotte, who is much more versed in cultured things such as this, and for some reason she was unable to draw forth memory. I think perhaps it was the unsettling scene of the unfortunate demise of several of the villagers by the wolves, and overcome with vapors, as you know. These things happen. She's quite sensitive to vapors. The only thing that we were able to really of any value was I reach into my bag and I root out all of the stuff that we brought out, and I lay it out on a table, accidentally spilling a rasher of meat out of my bag and going, oh, excuse me, and putting it back in my
He just shakes his head and looks disapproving. There's always that one in the family. Yes, this is beautiful. Interesting. You found no other vessels, or this was the only. This was in that house. Did you say the different one, the one with the painting?
The one with the painting. The one was untouched. All of the others were pretty well ravaged, shall we say, by the wolves. And this one, for some reason, was unscathed. In fact, the interior looked pristine, all neat and in order, as if the person was ready to come back at a moment's notice when everyone else looked like they were ready to, had already left for whatever reason, clearly an unsettling circumstance. But this is what we found.
Nice. Yes, absolutely. This should at least pay for the trip there, and I do apologize that you had to go on an empty errand. But nonetheless, at least now we know, should Derek's Holding not send its tithe, what has happened. I shall send some folks out to hunt them down, and from there we will take this matter into the courts. They will take care of it that way. I see you are all a bit road weary. Perhaps you should go and get cleaned up and rest. However, be ready should I need you again. Should anything new come up for Derek's Holding, or I may have more questions later. So please stay near. I must go and confer with my counselors now about this. Thank you all for your time.
We take our leave, and I recognize that my sword has seen some action, so it needs to be the blade needs to be rehoned and sharpened. It is has seen blood and needs to be kept after. So I will take care of my weapons and then proceed to take care of my stomach, for which for some reason is remarkably empty, even though I've eaten probably 4 portions of food, enough for, at least a day and a half for one man. But I'm ready for a feast and, perhaps a proper cleanup.
Yeah.
I will go visit the priest and tell him what tolerance brings.
Excellent. And how about Verdic? What's Verdic gonna do?
He is just gonna go to his room, take care of his wounds, and try and unwind, and maybe he'll throw out an extra prayer or two.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a in fact, you know what? But your wounds, Lord Boniface can't have his master of the hunt bleeding out in his sleep. So he will have you seen to and your wounds bound, and some healing salves put on them. He also instructs you to see the priest to have healing prayers done at least once a day for the next 3 days. You know that you'd be better off just slapping dirt in the wounds, but hey, the Lord commanded it. So thanks for tuning in. This has been United Adventure Company presents Ripples from Carcosa, the Herald in Yellow. Tonight's cast has been Frankie as Lady Charlotte, Diamond as Konrad, and Alistar as Verdic. Your keeper was Jackal Crossing. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please do us a favor, hit that thumbs up like button and the subscribe button down below. Check out all the new videos coming your way from this and all the other games that we play. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on United Adventure Company.